drank that much alcohol for 20 fucking years, yeah, your fucking brain's mush anyway. You fucking Shawn.
Are you guys talking about that magic shit? Ugh.
Welcome back, you guys, to the Hard Part Podcast, where the hardest part is keeping it up. The conversation, that is.
The conversation.
That is. So welcome back. This is officially episode 4 of the Hard Part Podcast. So we've had an official first month.
Yeah.
We've done a bunch of things in the first 3 episodes. With it being the first month coming to a close, that also means next week's episode will be the drawing of the secret Lair
Dun, dun, dun.
SpongeBob SquarePants that we are giving away. So this will be our first official giveaway. We are currently up to, I think, 5 subscribers now. So sorry, Joe, that you are no longer the only one in the running.
Hey, 20%, those are good odds.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have somebody's a top tier.
We do
so
have a
there's-
top tier contestant. So
I
they
don't
do
know
have
what the numbers
more.
are on that point. But,
Yeah, they still have more. I believe, if I remember the way I have it set up, I'm pretty sure it's 10 entries.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nice.
they have 10% more chance of winning than you do right now.
So, question for that one: are we gonna do like a fishbowl type drawing where we record it on the thing?
Yeah, I think what I was going to do is I was going to try to find a replica of Urza Silex or something, like its bowl. Remember, there's there's that one Urza card that has the bowl. I was thinking that.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, and we literally just put them in the bowl.
Definitely. I was just gonna go ahead and. So thrifting is a really good idea, and then if we don't find it at any thrift stores, we need to go to what's the one across the way over by Hannaford. Over by
yeah.
I don't know what we could say.
Yeah, I think we could say it.
Okay.
TJ Maxx.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Dude, I hear
the
podcasters talk
weirdest
about
stuff.
stores all the time.
Okay,
I mean,
there's a lot of really cool stuff that people discuss on podcasts, but we'll tie back into that
Yeah.
a little bit later.
All right, so again, this week is going to be our sponsor. It's going to be Maniac Collectibles in the main mall. Wanted to give them a shout out again. Thank you guys for supporting us, allowing us to have our business cards out there, for also allowing us to spend our money at your store to be able to pick up not magic singles, but packs, boxes, top loaders, all of those
This guy
things.
right here has been shouting it from the rooftops. I would never have gone to you guys for magic cards.
Yep.
And Sean's like, oh, no, those are the dudes to go
Yeah.
see. And
Everybody I
gotta say,
talk to, I'm
have
like-
not been disappointed. I'm a bigger fan of the repacks, but
Yep.
still not disappointed. So
Yeah, they're definitely one of the less expensive places I've seen in Maine for packs, which is good. So I go there all the time, usually on my lunch break, so I'll just grab a pack and then go open it, and I got a couple of those saved that I'll be posting onto Instagram and Facebook here pretty soon for you guys. Some really good pulls, which is nice. I was also unfortunately selfish, and I opened up a box of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, and I forgot to record it because I was too fucking excited. I was so mad. I was
honestly,
but I have the picks.
That would have been beautiful.
It would have been, because I pulled
because
everything I needed.
He pulled a deck out of a booster
I
box.
pulled an
Not only
entire
that,
deck.
but he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go grab a booster box and get most of the cards for this deck that I want to build right now." Just kind of in. Well, I suppose you talked a little bit about doing.
Yeah,
a
well, I
samurai.
was like, I want to do the samurai deck, and I was just gonna buy a couple of packs, right? And then I saw the fact they had a full sealed box, and I was like, fuck. So I picked it up, and I literally got every piece except for 4 rares that I need from Neon Dynasty. Threw it into the deck, and the deck works.
That's nuts. That's just nuts.
I'm missing the 2 red and white legendary creatures.
Okay.
The 2 samurais. The white legendary land. And then there's a equipment from it that I'm missing.
That's not bad.
Not bad. I got all the variation artworks as well for it.
Right.
All the things I
Right.
wanted.
Oh, we'll get to that one later,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yep. But the preview for this episode. So we're gonna talk about the convention that we went to. So we went to the Northeast Sports Card Expo yesterday. So this is right after the fact.
That's the NESPO to those of you who are acronym fans.
I hate that. Don't ever do that again. We're going to do our keyword corner like we did last time. We're going to have a special way we're going to do keyword corner this time.
Yeah, we're going to improv it today.
We're going to improv it today. For the deck spotlight, we're going to be talking about Tom's sliver deck.
Mm.
And then custom card.
It's kind of a sliver deck.
Kind of a sliver deck. Custom card corner. We've got Tom's going to talk about the custom set. And then Reddit roundup like we do every single week. So we'll get right into it. We'll start talking about the convention, and I'll let Tom take it away and kind of start with his intro on it.
Okay, so we went to the you didn't want me to Nespo it this time, so it's Northeast
Sports Card
Expo. That's what I'm forgetting.
You know what? Let's just say it. Just say it your way, because now that I'm realizing saying the whole friggin' thing, it's so difficult.
We went to the Card Expo. Okay, it was primarily a sports card expo.
A Pokemon Card Expo. What are you talking about?
Oh gosh, yeah, no, we went to a sports card expo and a Pokemon card exposition,
basically
popped up. There were some really awesome Magic folks there, especially one gentleman who actually at the time had put out a bounty on a grade 10 Nicole Bolas.
Yeah, he was looking for a 10 mint Nicole Bolas because he had all of the other dragons in 10 mints.
Original print.
Which is crazy, right? All of the Legends ones.
Mm-hmm.
They were mint condition. Those are crazy to look at.
It was kind of sad to see like everybody else, like Chromium and all that stuff, just up there at the 10, and then the one that he had with Nicole is like a 9.5. 9.5. Yep.
Yeah, and I was like,
we've got some footage of it. You guys will be able to see it.
Yeah, we actually finally did some video footage. I'm gonna try to blend it together, kind of throw it into like a B-reel kind of post. It won't be like a crazy thing. But it'll show off our editor's skills a little bit, and see what he can put together.
Hey, I've seen worse. So,
but what was your favorite thing that you saw at the expo?
Honestly, I think my favorite thing was the Elder Dragons, but aside from that, especially on the non-Magic end, I think the most interesting thing that I saw was that what was it, 16 or 160K?
It was 12K.
It was 12K. Okay.
$12,000.
Again, big difference. Numbers are very different in my hand, but yeah, it was a $12,000 hunk of plastic. This thing was a brick. It was a stand in and of itself. It was nice, and it was Pikachu with the Mario.
It was the Mario hat Pikachu.
Yeah,
it was a mint 10.
Wild.
We'll post that picture and everything as well. But I literally got to hold a $12,000 Magic card.
Yeah,
not Magic card, but Pokemon card.
Pokemon card.
Ridiculous though. Like the fact that value is just like sitting there, and I was like, hey, can I hold this? And he's like, yeah, go for it.
And this was kind of big for our region, but I mean, it's not like the most, like we took up, it's roughly the size of like a high school basketball stadium.
Yeah, about. But
move out the bleachers and so forth. And
out of the value though, like that was
the high end.
That was the high end.
Yeah.
For what the vendors were selling, at least.
Individually. Yeah, I didn't really see anything that was much more than that on an individual basis. However, I have definitely seen binders with less value in them pretty much everywhere else in the world. Like I've never seen a binder that takes graded plaques inside of the sleeves.
Yeah, and you put them in a sleeve like a normal binder. The gentleman that Tom was talking about who was looking for the Nicole Bolas, his slat. So what is slat, for those of you who don't know, is when you get a card graded. I actually have one here, which I'll show to the camera for post. But this is a slat. So a slat is basically a hard shell plastic that is sealed, like factory sealed and shoved together, so nothing from the outside world can ever touch it again. And when they grade them, they put them inside of these, and they call them slats, just for quick. They, kind of stack together. You can put them on a shelf.
Yeah, anything from slat to plaque to
something. But slat's kind of like the overall term. So he had a bunch of these slats just in a binder, and the amount of money worth was probably
There was like what 6 or 8 of them a page,
Yep.
and we're talking like
all gem mints.
gem
pens.
mints, the premium printing, the top of the line, like
Yep.
everything, and then half of them are signed by the artist.
Yeah, so his collection was probably worth close to like $300,000-$400,000
Easy.
just sitting on that table.
Yeah,
And he was the only like actual Magic person there. Like
Mhm.
everybody else was 100% like, we have some Magic stuff here, but no, he was exclusively Magic.
I think that was another thing that that might have been up there on my favorite end. We just kind of got around and talking to people enough down on the convention floor that after it wasn't even our first pass all the way through, we started having people like, oh, we heard there was some guys looking for Magic cards out here. Like, here's 15 of them that I had in my back pocket. that
Yeah,
I-
they're like, it's like back alley fucking, hey, do you guys want some Magic cards?
guys looking for Magic.
If you come over here, I've got this special stash of Magic cards for you.
Got some. Check this box out over
Yeah,
here.
come on over here. Come see what I've got.
Speaking of some questionable, we're gonna go through everything that we picked up
Yeah.
here. But speaking of questionable stuff, I will tie back into this a little bit more in my later segment of the custom cards and so forth. But we found an individual who not only had like a literal booster box of repacks, but he has what I'm assuming it's his, and I use this with air quotes, his own packaging, which is definitely, I forget if this is Alibaba or Aladdin.
I think it's Aladdin.
I think it is.
I think it's the Aladdin artwork card,
Yeah.
like the original Aladdin art.
And it says Magic the Gathering, and I thought that would be a big thing, big faux pas thing. But then again, I also know that there are several repack things like through Dollar Tree and whatnot where they'll post that on the outside. And I suppose you likely can't get in trouble for that because you're telling people what's inside this random.
Yeah,
you know.
you're technically not making the profit off of the Magic name. You're just shoving things in there and being like, hey, this is for you. Because I doubt the turnover rate of money you're making from it actually matters.
Yeah. But the art and so forth used on the packaging as well as the overall look of the brand is definitely something where I like them. It's definitely up my alley. I don't know how they haven't, unless nobody's seen it yet. I don't know how he's been getting away with.
Yeah, because he did he's like, yeah, I designed all of these myself and I put them together. And like it looks official, which is scary.
Yeah,
it looks officially old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like if you told me that this would, like if I were not a Magic player and you're like, oh yeah, this is a $5,000 pack.
He could have sold it.
Probably not a $5,000 pack, but you could probably get kids, like, oh, this is $20 pack of like old school Magic cards.
The
Like,
only way they would have been worse is if he like crimped the top and bottom,
Yeah.
like made them actual packs because
Yeah.
they're still taped in the back, like he folded them himself. But like that's more care than 90% of repackers do.
that, and it's consistent too. Like it's definitely like he's taken the time to go through and with at least 2 entire booster boxes worth of like these repacks.
Yeah, and they were like it was $6 for 2 of them, which isn't bad. That's cheaper than most repacks.
I don't love, and I'm really gonna need to see some value out of these, and we're gonna open these at a later date so that we can get appropriate like what's in here and so forth. But we're gonna go ahead and what I was gonna say is there's a fair amount of like care that's gone into this. This wasn't
Yes.
just like throwing them into a bunch of little Ziplocs and
No,
running.
he like meticulously folded all of these for a whole booster box. The thing Tom doesn't like is that there's only 10 cards in each pack.
Yep, that's where I was
Yep,
going.
he doesn't like that. See,
Yeah.
I reminded you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
It's got to be draft friendly.
Yeah,
It's
10 is not draft friendly.
no.
Like, I bet you he knows enough about Magic packs to make the repacks, right? So there's probably going to be at least a rare in there. However, is there going to be a land in there? Is there going to be a token? Because remember, that's where the other slots come from, right? Is the token, the land, a potential additional rare, and the foil.
And talk about chaos draft. You get like 3 repacks of like there could be nothing in there, or even if it's a garbage card, like if it's a 6/6 flyer,
Yep.
that's an amazing thing in like a horrible draft where there are no rares or anything. So.
Yeah, it's kind of like how we talked about before, like older sets flying was like the thing to do because it was scary because like that was the major keyword.
Mm.
Could you imagine if we open those packs and there's like fucking Revives Black Lotus?
Oh,
what if he
dude,
didn't
if
know?
There was First off, if I pull anything that's worth more than like $10 out of there, I'm gonna immediately have to like take it to someone better than myself to double check and make sure that it's not fake.
Yeah, because like that's the scary thing about repacks, right? Is you don't know if there's because people could just sell you a full fake repack, and it's gonna be, and you're not gonna be able to prevent that.
Again, I don't mind counterfeit cards. I like counterfeit cards. I don't like the idea of potentially getting in trouble in a sanctioned event because you bought the wrong.
Yes,
you bought the wrong shit, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that'd be good.
This rare has been cut with baking soda.
It's that scene. I don't remember which movie it is, and everybody's gonna hate me for this. It's that way. He's like, "Take a look at this card. Wow, that's a really good card. I like that. Have you seen my card? Wow, that thing must be expensive."
Are you talking about? Psycho? Not Psycho. Yeah, American Psycho.
Yeah, where they're all sitting around the table and they're like showing the cards.
Like his business cards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the
where people like make magic cards of them?
Yeah,
and
there's
shit?
a bunch of they like swap it out. Yeah, those.
Yeah, I love those. Every single one of them is good because it's relevant for every scenario.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, when we were walking around the floor, people were just like bringing out their magic cards for us, and the more we ended up doing like 5 or 6 passes through the whole thing, and at that point, we were still finding more things we didn't see the first time.
Oh, I think this is a good time to segue into what else we found for the Kamigawa deck.
Yes,
because that literally
insane.
We were kind of getting ready. You know, we'd been walking around for a little bit, and we'd already thought we had seen everything. And literally the last table that we walked past, that we had probably passed 3 or 4 times.
Like 3 or 4 times. We saw a couple of magic cards in it. We're like, oh, those are really good. We saw this gorgeous Jeweled Lotus. Like the specialty art Jeweled Lotus in there. I wasn't even going to ask the price because I know those go for a lot.
Yeah.
The thing was absurd.
That and investing in a Jeweled Lotus at this point seems silly.
Yeah, considering it's still banned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rip ban list.
Burp, burp, burp.
But we were looking through it and we're getting ready to go, and I'm like, all right, these are cool. And then all of a sudden, I look over and I see it. I see the Japanese version of Swords to Plowshares from the Strixhaven specialty arts packs.
Just beautiful art too.
Beautiful art.
Oh.
It's still foil, so it's funny because they did the foiling only on the borderings of all like
the
text boxes, which is amazing.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
It's a flavor card that it's needed for it anyway. It's a white. It's a 1-pip white to Swords to Plowshares. Basically, you can take any creature, you exile it, and that creature's controller gains life equal to its power. Which, it's gonna drag the game out. But it's I need to get rid of this card, so it doesn't matter. And I needed it for the deck, and I wanted the Japanese version specifically because I'm building a samurai deck, so it goes in flavor-wise. And I was like, there's no way this is sitting here. I'm like, man, I hope he's not selling it for like a crazy amount. And I looked it up online, and I was like, it's only selling for $10. I don't want to ship it. And I was like, hey, what are you selling that for? And he goes, $10. I was like, done.
See, and that's the gamble that you always take when you go to some place like that. Because there was, again, the one guy who like had the bounty out on Bolus. He knew what he was doing.
He was going to spend. He said he was looking for it. He would spend $1,000. Immediately out of pocket.
Anybody out there is holding on to a
Mint 10 Bolas. We know a person that we can send you to. Yep.
If you're looking to part with it, I can.
Yeah, if you're looking to part with it, but he was immediately like 1,000 cash.
Yep.
Done.
And I'm sure we have his card.
Yeah, we have his card. We 100% picked it up. We also took a picture of his stuff. Which we'll give him a shout out and everything on the
for sure
on that. But like seeing that Swords to Plowshares was amazing because now I just need the Teferi's protection in the Japanese as well, and Teferi's protection, and that's the only one. And then I have both of the exclusive Japanese.
Could you hear me
ones.
correct you in my head?
I did. I saw the look. And I was like, fuck,
Hey,
dude.
yep. Hey, at
Hey,
least
this proves that we are Magic players just like you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I was saying, oh,
we're not trying to
pronounced-
bullshit this stuff.
Yeah, these are all like made up, fucking like Phyrexian. What is
Everything's made
that?
up.
Like the first time that I was like really starting to like, I don't know if you know this about me, but the first thing that I really got into when I was a kid was we had an encyclopedia, just to date me, like just a full I think it was a World Book encyclopedia, and I recall sitting down and just plowing through that thing, A to fucking Z, like, and so there was a lot that I was familiar with by the time that I got into Magic the Gathering. And so going back in my head, I equated Phyrexian a lot with Phoenician or Phoenician, depending on how you pronounce it. And so like I looked at the parallels between them, and again, there wasn't really a language to Phyrexia back in the early days. There was some etchings here and there that you might.
The first card was the Judge Foil Elish Norn.
Are you sure?
Yep, that was the first time it was fully printed on a card.
Well, like in a way that was decipherable.
Because that's where the entire
later.
I'm 90% sure the entire Phyrexian language was built around that card, because we had some of it, but they used the Judge Foil card to make the rest of the Phyrexian language because it had almost every letter on it.
So I know that that's true as far as like the cipher didn't come out until that, but I want to say that the first time that it was printed was on Phyrexian scriptures. Which I believe came out in Dominaria, but we'll have to double check all this in post. No, so like I was really like looking into Phoenician and so forth, and then so when they started coming out with the language, that's what I had paired to it was the Phoenician, and I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it looks very similar.
It's very close.
So I don't know if that was like a derivative or whatnot. Like they had just like tried to base some of that off on like a previously lost civilization, but
man, it was. But like seeing cards like that at the show, even though it was a sports card expo, made it worth it. I think my favorite thing. Which also made me mad at the same time. Tom knows exactly where I'm going with this.
You talking about that kid Raw Dogging?
Raw Dog in the Mishra's Factory. Yep. So, Mishra's Factory, I know we talked about it in one of the first 2 episodes that I needed it for my mirror deck. Right?
Yeah.
It's like my dream card to have in the deck is a Mishra's Factory. It was
I don't
also
know.
just listed as a game changer. So
Yes.
now its price went up a little bit. Because of that, it went up like $200 more.
Yeah.
The card's like $4,000. All right, so Mishra's Factory just makes artifacts cheaper to play, and it costs 0 to play it, if I remember right, because it's just a normal artifact. You can just drop it. And we were just walking around. This is one of those, like, we just ran into the guy. Like, we were just standing there talking, and we see this guy with a binder open. And Tom's like, those are Magic cards. And so we walked over politely, and we're like, hey, we see you guys are looking at Magic cards. We handed him our business card. And we're like, what do you got there? And he starts kind of flipping through it. And this guy...
What you got there, buddy?
What you got there, buddy? He actually sold a couple of his cards autographed to the gentleman for the Nicole Bolas, which we already... When he said, look what I picked up today, we went back to him. We saw it. We're like, we know where you got that.
Oh, what were either of
it
those
was
cards?
Atraxa.
Okay,
It was Atraxa, and then...
Elish Norn.
And then
it was
the Elish Norn.
artists
The
who were
artist
doing those
ones,
two.
and they did like the shadow boxed
That's an
signature.
amazing signature.
So cool.
Hot.
But he's in this binder. We're looking at it. I'm like, oh, those are cool. And then at the very corner of the binder, no sleeve, no protective, just in the binder
It's probably just been
is a Mishra's Factory.
sitting there.
Sitting there, raw dogged, no fucking sleeve.
No.
And I was like, can I like look at that closer, please? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I never thought I would see one in person.
And it wasn't just by itself. Like there was
No.
a bunch of power that was there.
Dude.
There was a Mox Emerald on the other page.
Yeah, he had a Mox Diamond as well. Also raw dogged. But
Yeah.
by the way, this entire binder was raw dogged. Like he had revised stuff just sitting in this binder, and he's like, yeah, I used to be like my dad's collection, and I took it in, and like now I like it and stuff, and like I'm trying to find things for my deck, which I'm not entirely sure that's true. I think he was just trying to get rid of the stuff. But like he knew the value in his binder, but at
Yeah.
the same time, I don't think he had the respect of what was in that binder.
You know, I've been playing this for a while, and I know a lot of people who were like in the game, and like when they got out of the game 15, 20 years ago, it was like, okay, I've got some value. These cards might be worth like $100 or $150 later on. And they might think that that's gone up a little bit. I don't think that a lot of these guys who have given away their collections have any idea how much some of this stuff has just inflated.
Yeah, it's like Mishra's Factory, right? That's one of those weird cards that's just like worth a ton.
Yeah.
That definitely back in the day, people were like, oh, this is good in my artifact deck, and they just like slept on it. But this was like a mint condition Mishra's Factory in a fucking binder.
So,
and if I had $4,000 on me,
yeah,
that would have gone home.
That
would have
right
been gone.
there.
But like that's
I said,
why
you
it's
probably
my
could've
dream
gotten
card.
that for like $2,000 just
In cash because
Yep.
he didn't want to carry it anymore. Yeah, because that's going to be a hard card to sell, not graded too, right? But if I ended up getting it graded, buying a graded one and wanted to put it in my deck, we at least know how to get them open
yeah.
because we learned
Yep.
that at the convention too. We learned how to open up slabs at the convention.
So I think this is a good time to bring up the fact that it wasn't who he thought and said that it was before, and I don't want to keep saying their names so that we put the wrong ones in there. What was the name of the grader that was there this time?
So the grader, I actually it was it's on this one here.
There we go. Yeah.
It's so it's TGA. So it's the Trading Game Authority, the Grading Authority.
Okay.
So
That's not half bad.
they
That's a
also
nice
do
name.
grading. So there's a bunch of them. So you have Tag.
Mhm.
You have Tag who does it. You've got PSA. PSA is the biggest one. They're the ones that like kind of lead the industry.
That's who we thought we were going to see.
But TGA is kind of good too, though, right? So
Yeah.
I'm actually holding one right now. I brought 2 cards to get graded, technically 3, because I thought they were going to do like the hard shells there and everything. But this is why we did this for you guys, so you guys can kind of know the process that they do. They do what's called a raw grade review as well. So they literally will just
raw dog it.
raw dog it. They will grade it. They will look at it on the spot. They have stickers to seal it completely. So it has it completely sealed and everything, and until this is broken, this will stay a 9. If I send it into them, they'll do the grading at a discount, and it's going to be at least a 9.
Okay. But you could potentially get a higher grade.
I could,
from the raw.
because when they look at it
So
more closely and stuff.
So they probably just don't give out 10s. Because that seems
Probably.
like it would be a bad sales pitch.
Yes.
Like,
So both of mine, though, that I brought the retrograde non-foil Avacyn, and I brought this Thalia retro border foil, and they both got 9s, though. The only reason the Avacyn didn't get a 10 was because the corners were not as squared up. And the Thalia was only not a 10 because it was slightly off-center. However, he was very impressed because he had never seen a foil with no scratches on it.
Yeah.
He was like, if it wasn't for the off-center, it would have been a 10, which is why I'm thinking about still sending this back out.
Yeah, I still feel like especially we were talking about that the other day, the misprints thing on Facebook, which is a great thing to be a part of. You can see some really cool stuff in there. I've been looking at misprints and whatnot for a while, and even in the last 2 weeks, I've found new stuff on there that I've never seen before. But that portion of it, the off-centering, until you break out a micrometer, is very
hard to see with the eye.
It is really hard to see with the eye, and I feel like it's extremely arbitrary.
Yep.
Again, until you get the micrometer on there, it doesn't really. You don't know for sure.
Yep.
There's some really
happy,
bad ones where it's like, oh yeah, that's definitely off center. But then there's other ones where I've seen and like I'm looking at it and it's okay, but I feel like it's like one of those magic eye things where you're like, oh yeah, I can see the sailboat, and you can see some. Oh yeah, I can see it, and they're trying to outline it for you, and it's like, no. You don't see it in the lines. It's optical
the
illusion.
actual centering change. So when they do the grading at a factory, they actually have a very specific thing they overlay on the card, and it does the measurements and everything. It says this is how thick the border is supposed to be from each side. So until I get this micrometered, this could still be a 10.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he literally said he's like, normally you see scratches on the backs of cards and stuff like that and everything. He goes, there's nothing on this card. And And I'm like, that's why I'm still probably going to send it out.
Yeah, might
So I
as
think
well.
I'm going to send it out. I did send out my beloved
Dun, dun, dun.
Corona False God for grading.
Hmm.
I don't know what it's going to be. I don't even care if it's not
Here's
like above an
hoping
8.
for a 10.
I'm hoping for a
but
10. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Just because it was my first rare, and if I could keep it mint condition from Scourge, fuck yeah.
I feel like
I think it would be worth money though,
Oh,
even because
yeah.
it's Scourge.
Yeah.
Like it's an old set, and if it's a mint condition from Scourge graded,
Mhm.
even though it's not the best card in the world, at that point that's where the stock market variation comes into play
Right.
with the cards, where it doesn't matter if it's good. It's a mint condition from like 2008. So, but the TGA, they do that, and then you can send out your card from there. The turnaround time is, I think they said to get it around June, which is
Not
long.
bad.
It's not bad, but I only have to worry about it being shipped once, which is nice, because I don't have to worry about the double, like shipping it there, worrying the whole time if it got there, and then
Right.
worrying if it came back. But overall, it was good. A lot of people were getting stuff spot graded,
Mhm.
and I even traded my Avison for a Gem Mint 10 Dreadful as the Storm foil from the Lord of the Rings set. So I traded my 9 mint for a Gem Mint 10. And that Avison left the show that day, too.
Yeah,
It was
that
no longer there.
That definitely is going home to be somebody's commander.
Yep.
That's gonna be.
Yep, and I knew it would. It's one of those things where I wasn't going to use it, right? But I knew I would want something a little bit better, and I hadn't owned a PSA, like a PSA branded one.
Mhm.
So I thought it was cool. But Tom, why else did we get this?
Well, I think that it's very interesting. Now, the first one. Oh wait, we haven't gotten to that one yet.
We'll
but
get to that one after.
The one from the grading authority was just a thin, temporary
Yep.
one, kind of akin to a top loader.
Yep.
This is an actual slab.
Yeah, you can hear it. Like
Yeah.
it's enough. Like
You're
you
not-
can't break this open without curb stomping it, which we'll get back to.
Yep. Curb stomping the slats.
Curb
Uh,
slats.
But yeah, so the funny thing about this one is I noticed immediately upon picking it up, foil, mind you, okay, and this is official Wizards of the Coast card, foil inside of a flattened piece of plastic, and you can still see the curve.
Yep, it
you
is
can
still curved.
see the Pringle shape trying to pop out of this thing.
But it's really funny because they leave a little bit of room within the case, obviously, just because of the way the process is and everything.
Yeah,
like that,
they're
'cause you
not
don't want to squish
pressed.
it to
Yeah.
ruin it. So there's a little bit of a gap. There's an air gap in it.
Just enough.
It's a gem mint that's Pringled.
yeah.
Like this
That's a
is
10, grade 10
Yeah.
official card from Wizards of the Coast.
like this card it's a common foil. It's not even like good.
Not damaged.
It's not damaged, but it's still curled
Yep. And like
ever so slightly, but you
we're,
can
what,
see it.
At least 5 feet apart or so.
Yep.
5 feet apart because not gay.
And you can still see the curl.
yeah, and I can
from
still
over
see it
here.
from here. Like it's
But it's one of those things where we wanted stuff for the background, right? We want to have PSA cards for the background just because they're pretty and they look good. And I was like, you know what? This will be good for the podcast. But it's curled.
it is curled. I also like the fact that it came from the Lord of the Rings set.
It's such a good set.
I think that's one of the sets that I did not have the opportunity to draft.
neither.
That I would definitely throw in on a draft at some point because that
Yep.
just seems like it would be so fun to mix and match characters within that.
Exactly. It's one of those things where, man, I wish that I did it because there's the soul rings from that set. So they did specialty soul rings that were written in Elvish, Dwarvish, and one other language that are like thousands of dollars.
See, and I think they screwed that up.
Yeah.
I think they could have made a different card. Even what's the one, the really crap ones that we have that are like if your creature is white during your upkeep, you get to put a +1/+1.
The ones that
counter
are
on
in
it.
my samurai deck. Yeah, the Ring of Valkis is one of them, but they made one for each color.
But yeah, that I feel like we should have done something like that for those rings and make them separate rings. And then Soul Ring should have been the one ring.
Yeah, but
Like-
I understand they wanted to do like a whole new like the Ring Tempsy thing, which is so funny that they made something so powerful that they put it on the game changer list, and they're like, "Oops."
So I have a question for that, or rather a query that we've as we've been talking here. I wonder if when something gets put on not the ban list but the game changer list, if that's an artificial way to inflate price, because there's people that aren't going to look further into what it does. If it's a game changer, they're going to try and cram it into their deck. Like,
Yeah, and they're also going to the price for the market, right? So it's kind of like because we were talking about the fact that the cards there are basically the stock market.
Yeah.
Baseball cards, they're not playable.
the
So it's
cardboard stock market.
yeah, they're the cardboard stock.
It's the
market.
card stock market. Rough. Oh, that was a facepalm there.
Yeah, that hurt. But it no longer becomes about the playability. Like Pokemon cards are no longer about the playability of the card, and if they're good, I've noticed it's
Oh yeah, that 12K one. Like I'm sure there's a
It's not even
dozen functional different reprints of that.
it's not even a
Or,
good
Yeah, it
card.
might not even be playable.
It's the Vincent Van Gogh Pikachu one that was only given away if you went to France and got it at the Louvre.
Hey, that's still pretty cool.
That's
though.
super cool.
Like I love cramming stuff
Which
like
we
that.
did see
down.
one of those. It wasn't for sale, but they had one. They didn't have
Was it not for sale?
No, it was display only, and it wasn't minted. The crazy thing about it is it wasn't minted.
Yeah.
It was just in a top loader, and that should be graded. We let them know. We said, hey, I know you said you don't know
They're
much
right
about this.
down the street.
Yeah, I'm like, you guys. I know you guys don't do because they said they're not really into like the Pokemon stuff, and they're trying to get back into it. And same thing with Magic and stuff. But we let them know we're like, hey, this is worth money.
Yeah.
Graded.
Yeah.
Grade this, especially if you're not going to play it. And this is where the whole cardboard stock market comes into play. Is there were people there grabbing things from one booth and going to sell it at another.
Yeah.
To try to get a higher price. And there were people in the walkways with their personal collections trying to sell. And that's the weird thing. It's literally like I don't understand what half these other games do. But it's no longer about the playability. It's about how it looks.
It's really like again, and I understand that the sports market it's a whole different thing, and I'll probably end up doing some type of like deep dive onto it.
Yeah, because I don't understand the sport. Because we like saw triangular cards, and I'm like, I don't understand the grading process.
The moment that the guy starts talking about like, oh, if somebody gets injured, then blah 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 blah, and I'm like, yeah, but I feel like you have to like follow a bunch of stuff to give any kind of craps about that, let alone.
Yeah, how are you supposed to remember that this guy in 1805 got injured with a right pancreas or something?
Or even like 3 years ago, like, oh, this is when Joey Steele like pulled his Heimlich and that sounds like an unfortunate event.
That sounds like it. But that like lowers the price. I feel like that should increase the price.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Magic. You put something on a ban list or a reserve list or a game changer, and the price goes up. And
well, ban list I think is a different.
ban list
thing.
is different.
Yeah.
But because then we also saw an interesting thing where we saw these sports cards that were like, this is the 89th out of 90 ever made of this card.
Oh yeah, the
and they were like
serializing is
$30.
really different and weird.
Yeah, they were like $30. I'm like, dude, you have a Magic card that has like 500 of them serialized, and it's like hundreds. What's the difference? And the difference is the fact that the Magic card is playable.
Yeah, you could do something with this.
So
like,
the
you can go to a
serialized
tournament and engage in like a serious competition where the quality, not so much the quality, but the authenticity of those cards will be measured or could be questioned.
Yeah, so like the Lord of the Rings Soul Rings that are serialized and in Elvish are worth a ton of money because they're not only pretty, they're limited, they're in every deck ever for Soul Ring.
Yeah.
And it's good. So the fact that's why they're worth $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 because the playability is there.
Yeah.
Pokemon cards, none. I picked up a graded 10 mint Magikarp. It's in Japanese, it's foil. It's not even good. It's a terrible card. But it was still like $30 because it's a graded card.
I've got to say, like, being a bystander during this entire interaction, it was definitely like watching Magic in the making. It was pretty awesome. Yeah. Somebody basically walks into something that's next to worthless to them and then leaves with something that is priceless to them.
Yep. Yeah, because like for me, I walked up to them with a promo Mew card from 2003, I think, and it was like number 9 of, because they like reprinted it like 8 times or something like that, and I had like number 9 of it. It was like $48, This Magikarp was 30, so they paid me to take this mint 10 Magikarp.
Yeah, versus what? I think the other one may have came back as a 2.
Like a 2. It was in such bad
like
condition.
it was not.
But it was just an old card, and I bet
Yeah.
you if I graded it, even if it came back a 3, it would have been like triple the price.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think that he said it was like $40 or something like that.
But I don't really care about the Mew, and I've had it since I was a kid.
Yeah.
The Magikarp I cared about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like
and it's in a plaque. It's in a slab. You can just like.
it's a Japanese plaque slab.
Yeah.
It's so cool to me. But
I
like
think the border on the back is kind of interesting too. That I've seen that before, the gold
Yeah.
border and whatnot.
I don't
assume
remember the
promo.
legality of. Yeah, I think it's a promo thing.
But again, it's in plastic, so it's a piece of art.
Yep,
Like that's
it's just a piece of art,
Yeah.
and that's where the Pokemon cards doesn't matter on the playability.
yeah.
It was worth money because it was slatted.
they're basically like those sports cards. It's not so much that they don't have value; it's just that the value is derived from a different place than its playability.
Yeah, because Pokemon cards still have power creep, right? There's
Oh,
still there's
yeah.
power creep in Pokemon like crazy, actually.
I was gonna
Almost
say, that
almost
one-
more than Magic sometimes. And I saw like there's a couple cards there that I was like, oh, these are actually like good cards, like energies and stuff. Like
Mhm.
energies are good for every single Pokemon deck, so those are going to be worth money.
It was 2. It was a double energy.
The double energies, yeah,
Yeah, I
those
saw
are.
that, and I'm just like, oh gosh, that's I play very little Pokemon. It's just a Pokemon Pocket,
Yep.
and that's still recent. I know nothing about the meta of the actual card game.
Yep.
But I could only imagine that's basically a Soul Ring,
Yeah, essentially.
Pokemon Soul Ring.
And there's ban lists and stuff like that in Pokemon too, and like, but they're a little bit more derivative and a little bit more like targeted, and they don't do it before it comes out. So we're gonna move into keyword corner.
Keyword corner. Do, 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 do.
Here we go. First keyword.
First keyword.
Oh, there's 2.
Ooh.
Do we want to talk about Lifelink or Delirium?
Ooh, let's talk about Lifelink first, and then I think we can segue into. I don't know that we can segue into Delirium from
Delirium-
Lifelink. But
Delirium is weird though because there's a lot of different Delirium things. Because Delirium basically does something if you have Link. So we'll do Lifelink.
yeah,
Lifelink is a ability, a keyword that when you deal damage, you gain life based on the damage that you dealt.
ooh. Do you know when Lifelink was introduced?
I do not. I know it's pretty old though. I'm gonna take a guess. So this is from. Here we go, guys. This is
Yeah.
where you know that we're not professionals. Is we're guessing. I'm gonna say revised.
Revised.
I'm gonna
Ooh.
say revised, or
Do you care to give a second guess?
sure, 4th.
Okay.
Those are my 2 guesses.
It's
Revised
not a bad
or 4th.
guess. Future Sight is actually
Future Sight.
Future
Dude,
Sight.
I'm
It was not
so
keyworded. I
off.
would have at least gone with Mirrodin, maybe 8th edition, because I know that. Again, we had talked about this the other day. I think that there's a card that does it does the same thing. It's an enchant creature.
Yep.
And I want to say that it's an enchant creature called Lifelink, but I'd have to look it up. But anyhow, it says basically that any combat damage that a creature deals, then you gain that much life. So if you have Lifelink on top of that, then you gain you gain double.
So it is called Lifelink. It costs 1. It's an enchantment aura that is an enchant creature that it says enchanted creature has Lifelink.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yep.
So they did just keyword update
They
it.
keyword updated it.
Gotcha.
Yep, they keyword updated it.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, they probably did that for that reason of cheating that you're thinking
Yeah,
of, which
yeah,
is
'cause
double Lifelink.
It does double. Like
Yep.
it does. The other day you were playing with the samurai, and it basically triggered twice, so it did get lifelink twice, but it does not
Gain life
resolve
twice. Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because my Samurai Commander doubles the effects of all activated abilities when something attacks alone. So, basically, I attack with Lifelink when I deal the damage. So, it happens when you deal the damage directly,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's blocked,
Yep.
or if you block something as well. As long as damage is being done.
So, basically, for example, a 5/5 creature with lifelink in combat against a 1/1 creature will deal 5 damage to it as per Rule 510. And the 5/5 creature's controller will gain as much life as damage was dealt, which would be the 5 life.
Yep, exactly. So even though it does more damage than the 1 toughness, you're still dealing 5 damage.
Mm-hmm.
So you still gain the 5 life. So if you have things that like prevent combat damage and things like that, you don't gain the life. So lifelink can get weird sometimes depending on its use, right? Like we said with the whole you can't double lifelink.
Actually, I am going to augment this because the card that I was thinking of was not lifelink. The card that I was thinking of is called Spirit Link.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a 1-drop enchantment aura, enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage, you gain that much life. So you can
double because that is
Spirit
technically
Link
not
and life link.
because it is not keyworded as lifelink.
Right.
So it can be doubled. That's actually a very good thought, but that's a very niche thing, and it's only good for like 1 creature in my deck, so I don't think it's really worth it.
Yeah, no, I would not.
But it's still
wouldn't run
funny.
That in your it's
It's still funny. But lifelink it's good. It's primarily a white. I think it's only white and black sometimes because this has
black
this
is
black.
a big
Yep.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, white and black both usually have lifelink. You don't see lifelink in a lot of other colors. Mostly enchantments if you do, and a lot of times they're going to be white or black.
That and lifelink as opposed to just generally gaining life, I will definitely say that lifelink is a very relevant ability.
Yep,
as
it
opposed
is
to just gaining
still
life.
good to this day. It's not
You're
like
dealing damage, but because you're dealing damage and gaining life at the same time, you're putting a huge buffer between not just your opponent and winning and losing, but also between you and your opponent. Like if you deal 5 lifelink damage to your opponent, you just separated your life spread by 10.
Yeah, because what happened, like Tom and I played with my samurai deck that I literally just built Friday to see how it runs.
Nice.
Yeah, it runs great. But the thing is, he was playing Sliver Queen, which is scary because it's 7 damage, and I'm playing this samurai that just has lifelink, and I got to 102 life.
I would like to outline that the deck was Sliver Queen. The only other sliver in the deck is a fake Grave Mother.
Yep.
Who I found out the other day may possibly be in lore the Sliver Queen.
Yeah.
But like post being, sucked into a volcano.
But yeah, it was one of those things where we hit a stalemate because I was gaining more life than he could deal to me, even making a ton of slivers every turn.
Yeah, and he couldn't attack me through 40 slivers.
Yeah, and it didn't matter that he was chump blocking me with a single sliver. I was swinging for 18 a turn and gaining 18 life a turn.
Yeah, he got you were in the triple digits by the time that we flipped
it.
It
was 102, and then he finally.
And to be fair, I think that was largely your fault.
Oh,
I think
100%.
that you could have played that out longer, but you paid like half your life to clear my board.
I did. But that's the thing is because I had all that life. The one time white as a color was good, it was the fact that I could use a red-black card to literally wipe out your board and still have 52 life after I did it.
Yeah, like you didn't kill yourself with it.
No,
but
I still was more than the beginning total.
Not to mention, I was gonna by the end of that with the bracers and the Heartstone out there, I was getting 2 slivers for every 1 mana I pumped
Which
into
is crazy.
it, so yeah.
But yeah, lifelink is one of those things where they still reprint it. It's still printed in all sets. It hasn't been listed.
Evergreen.
Yep. Evergreen. There's a couple of things. There's another term that I read the other day that I forgot already. But basically, it's not printed anymore. So there's a couple of things that don't get printed anymore.
Here's a fun one. Night Life Link, all one word, was an ability in the unsanctioned set that features a variation called Night Life Link. Damage dealt by knights you control also causes you to gain that much life.
That is different. Yeah, see, a variation of lifelink. Because there's variations of other keywords like mountain walk, swamp walk, stuff like that. It's a variation of walking over for damage, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that lifelink also had a variation is cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's
but it was printed once.
News to me.
Right? It's probably printed once.
I like the unsets, so it's always fun to find out something new about them, too.
So yeah, for the keyword, we said we were gonna talk about the first keyword that came up is lifelink. This is Deck Spotlight.
It's time to. I can't. I don't
It's
think I
time
can
to
do
play Magic.
that. Deck Spotlight. So basically, I wanted to talk about a. It's all Brawl on here, but this is a Brawl deck that I've had for quite some time, because again, I do the same thing with my online or arena stuff that I do in real life, just because I can get cards and play with rares and so forth. I rarely do, but I did snag. I do really like doing the what are they the 2-packs. There you get like 2 different jump in is what it's called.
Yeah.
And get the 2 different themed packs, and then you make a thing out of it. Well, there was a sliver doohickey going on for a little while there, and I believe that I snagged up the first sliver out of one of those packs. And when I picked that up, I was like, well,
kind of have to now.
Kind of got to make a deck out of it. And I had some fun, but I didn't have very many slivers.
Mm-hmm.
But I started to think about it. So instead of all slivers have Cascade, which is what he does, he also has Cascade, right?
He has Cascade.
So, no, just one Cascade.
Well, all slivers have Cascade.
Yeah,
right?
So, yeah, but he's got to be in play in order to get this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so
yeah,
he does technically
there are some
have
cards that have, like, Cascade, which is nutty.
If you could copy him, you could, like, Cascade twice and then just keep the old one if you wanted to, I think. But anyhow, shortly thereafter, I believe, that was, when did we go back to the Snowlands? Kaldheim.
Yep.
Kaldheim had Maskwood Nexus, right?
Yep.
And my brewer's brain got crazy there, and I'm like, wait a second, Cascade into Maskwood Nexus. Everything is a sliver now, right?
Yep.
What if I just cram the deck full of really expensive cycling and discard this card spells, okay?
So you can just move, so you can basically pull into anything you wanted without having to search, but you're like drawing instead.
Because I cast for the first sliver, and then immediately so I do also run Crucible of Worlds because there's a lot of cycling lands in here.
Yeah, Crucible's really good.
But the thing is, it's kind of a coin flip, okay? Because if I took Crucible of Worlds out, even though I can't recur all of my stuff that I cycled in my graveyard, I can't hit Crucible of Worlds on accident instead of Maskwood Nexus. If Maskwood is the only or less than 5 card in there, then I will hit Maskwood every single time, which is kind of the goal.
Yeah.
But like I said, I run a lot of cycling lands and so forth, and it's really nice to just be able to like play lands afterwards. Or if I have to cast it a second time because somebody, if you blow up Maskwood Nexus,
yep,
I have no game plan.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of
just gone.
overcosted creatures that
you're like, all right, turn 8, I'm gonna cast one thing. Pass turn.
Basically, the only thing that does me any good at that point is I do have the Archfiend of Ifnir in here, and that's the demon that when you cycle or discard another card, you put a -1/-1 counter on each of your opponent's creatures. So if I have to like run that and then like try and kill people that way, I can do that.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it's really just a buttload of 5 and up cycling or manifestable creatures that I can just like chuck into my graveyard. I do throw in like Ruinous and Ultimate and Eerie Ultimatum.
Yep.
The most beautiful card in here you're gonna hate. My MVP in here is Tiamat.
Fuck you.
Because basically what I'll do is I'll drop Tiamat. But since everything is every creature type, now I can go grab 5 other after cascading off of a 7, because Tiamat's a 7 cast. Then I get to go through and I can grab 5 other.
I fucking
of any of the creature cards
dragon
that I have
decks
in my deck.
Dragon decks are just, I hate them, dude.
Yeah, so this deck ended up being named Senior Douchebag
That tracks.
because people see it and they're like, oh no, the first sliver. And then I cast the first sliver and I cascade into Maskwood Nexus. And they're like, I see why you've been cycling a bunch of giant creatures. Oh my god, what's coming next?
Yep.
And yeah, it goes all the way up. Like there's Elrond's Epiphany, Hullbreaker, Gen Gitaxias, which again is that's another 7-drop.
Mm-hmm.
So I drop him. I'm going to counter everything that you're playing, the first spell of creature or whatnot that you're playing, and I'm going to double up on my creatures and artifacts. Like it's
That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. It's definitely like a different type, like a different theme to kind of run, you know, because usually when you see Sliver, you're just going to be running slivers.
Yeah.
Right? You're only going to be doing that. Like, and so having it be different is kind of nice because you're still using the sliver effect and then you're, you know, making things slivers instead of just running slivers.
run a good old hollow one for.
Yeah. It's kind of like people who make shapeshifter decks. Shapeshifter decks are pretty cool too because then they're just like changelings and stuff. They're every creature type. So you can like throw a changeling in and it's still thematic. Like, there's a couple of changelings I thought about throwing into my samurai deck, even though they're not samurai, but it would still fit the theme because it's still samurai tribal.
Yeah.
So, my hot take from the expo.
Mm.
We saw a... It's funny, this isn't even a magic thing. This is just a normal hot take. But at this convention, there was this Beetles poster. And I don't know the Beatles well enough to know. I know it's like their most famous album. It's the one where they're walking over the crosswalk.
See, that makes me wonder if you're not just uneducated.
So, but they had the paycheck.
Shawn doesn't like the Beatles.
I don't like the Beatles. That's my hot take. I don't think they're good. I don't understand, like, Yellow Submarine, we all live in... How is that good? How is that, like, I'm gonna go... Like, this is back in the day where grandmothers were like, oh my god, they're so hot. I'm gonna go sleep with your grandfather to Yellow Submarine.
So I want you to know that, like, when it came down to it, like, if you were a parent from, like, the 40s who had children that were growing up listening to this, that Yellow Submarine was... It sounded like Megadeth.
Dude, here's the fucking problem, though. Like, I get it. I know that the Beatles helped set rock and roll to what it is today, right? I understand that. But playing your fucking nipple guitar on live TV and looking like your mom cut your hair by putting a bowl over it?
Hey,
I had a bowl cut, and I was made fun of for it.
Hey,
the Beatles can have a bowl cut, and
look,
people want to, like...
I used to have to wear corduroys because they were what my mom got from the secondhand store.
Those are cool now.
From the church. Yeah, now they're fucking... No. This is just a thing. So, like, it's just the way that the world works. Things get cycled around. Things that you get beat up for 20 years ago are things that get you, like, followed on Instagram nowadays.
Yeah,
like,
I don't like the Beatles. I don't like the music. All of it's fairly annoying to me.
See, I was going to be like, you should definitely listen to more Ringo Starr because people that don't like the Beatles, like anytime that you start looking into it, they're like, oh, okay, I like that song. I like that song. Okay, well, those are all Ringo songs because they made him write a song for each album. And he's not good at it, and he didn't like it.
I don't like the Beatles, but the thing is, I found.
But if you don't like Yellow Submarine, I can't even direct you. Like,
no, I don't like Yellow Submarine.
Holy cow,
I hate it. I hate it.
That's the one thing that everybody does agree on with the Beatles is Yellow Submarine was good.
No, it's
Yellow
not.
Submarine and Strawberry Fields forever. Like
no. But it was cool though seeing the fact that they actually had the pay stubs from all of their first paychecks from that album.
Dude, John
got paid so much
more.
No, like so
like double digits.
Yeah,
4 digits.
Yeah, his digits. Like I mean, it was $19,000, which back then was a lot of money. No, it was 92. It was $92,000, which back then was a lot of money, right?
Yeah, but
92 is a lot anyway. But
the
rest of them were like
84.
$4,000. Yeah, they were like $4,000. I'm like, holy fucking difference. And none of them were mad about that.
Right?
None of them were like, oh, John's getting paid $93,000 and I'm
You
getting
know what, though?
$2,600.
I sure hope that John wrote the music and John organized people and he made sure that they showed up on time and he booked
he was
the
the
stuff.
lead singer, though, and that's the thing, is the lead singer will always be paid the most because they're the front runner of the band. They're the ones who are supposed to be the hot ones and the weird ones and stuff. I mean, look at my favorite band, Rush. Geddy Lee is actually, no, false. Geddy Lee's not the most paid. It was Neil Peart, because Neil Peart had all the records, and he was the writer.
I don't understand how you could be in part of a band and like, I just play drums, so like they're just paying me like $25,000.
Yeah, that's literally what it was.
Absolutely not.
We knew which paycheck was Ringo's, though.
Yeah, you definitely know.
We looked at the lowest and went, "That's Ringo."
Yep, there he goes.
But
knowing what I know about the guy, he probably did just like, well, I'm here until 5 o'clock, and then I'm fucking going.
Dude, the fact that you did that in the accent made that so fucking good. Well, I don't want to be here, and I'm gonna clock in my time.
I'm just gonna dip out here after about 5.
Hey guys, you want to hear the sick lick that I made today?
Gonna hit up the pub.
Yeah, I got a little pub. I got somebody waiting there for me. Thank you guys for having me for this 35 minutes that you needed me here. John, thank you for taking all of my lunch money again today, even though you get paid the most.
Yeah, John, I really don't think that we should be pooling for lunch anymore collectively. If you're just gonna go ahead and like take the lion's share every time that it shows.
I find it pretty not okay. I mean,
it's a dick move.
Yeah, it's kind of a dick move that you're like, hey, let's order 17 pizzas and let's split it 4 ways. You get paid 150% more than we do. So I think you should take the heavier burden from that. You even asked for extra pickles on it for some reason. And that's more money.
It's pizza, John. It's pizza. They don't have... If there's an ingredient they don't have in the back, it's pickles.
Yeah, I don't understand why... You know, you were a genius. You wrote Yellow Submarine, and you were like, oh, this is great, but you know what? I have to pay extra money for this.
So I'll have to look into it, but I feel like Yellow Submarine is a lot more like one of the ones that Ringo would write. Like, that's when you're like, what the fuck are they singing about?
Here, I'll eroded that. Well, I wrote Yellow Submarine, and for some reason, it didn't make a lot of money. I mean, it made a lot of money, but I only got like $100 from it, and I have to pay for this pizza today.
I love how your Ringo has quickly gone from like Liverpool down to New Zealand over like the course of 3 lines.
It's because I started thinking of the Krog guy from Thor, the rock guy.
That's you know what's funny?
That's
I was just going. I'm like, how did he go from Ringo Starr to Taika Waititi?
But that's my hot take.
Hot take. Shawn doesn't like the Beatles because
don't like the Beatles.
There goes our 45 and up demographic.
And welcome to all of you who are 18 and understand where I'm coming from. So we're from that we.
You know what's really sad? You know what the new Beatles are? My Chemical Romance.
That's fine with me.
You're fine with it. I didn't I'm sitting here jamming out to it one day.
Is this the generational gap now?
And my daughter's, oh yeah, this is that's kind of like the cliche like your generation's music thing, and I'm like, yeah, but it's good though. And she's like, I didn't say it wasn't good.
You know what? That actually is a valid point because I was listening to somebody and they're like, yeah, I heard that on the classic rock. Oh, Green Day is on classic rock stations now. I'm like, ew.
Dude, Ozzy.
What are you talking?
Ozzy got me on that one. The first time that I heard Ozzy on a classic rock station, I was like, he would fucking roll over in his bed that probably looks like a grave.
Dude, I was still talking like this.
I love when people are like, you can't even understand him. I'm like, first off, you should have heard him back in the day because you still couldn't understand him. And second off, like, he doesn't do like a little bit of drugs or anything like that.
He does all of them.
He drinks a fuckload of alcohol. Like if you drank that much alcohol for 20 fucking years, your fucking brain's mush anyway. You fucking Sharon. That's not even really her name anymore. It's just like Sharon. Oh, okay. So I did didn't even really do any research. This is something that I fell into, and then after watching an entire review of the set, I decided that I would just sit on it and not tell you. I think I brought up that I had found something, but I watched like an 1.5 hour long video where this guy went through, and it was a Magic set that was unofficial, obviously. It was called Middle Ages, and it was some guy over here in like New England, Pittsburgh, something like that, who had did his own artwork and like full development of the set, and it was a sticker set. All right.
Oh. You mean like stickers, like Infinity stickers?
Kind of. Instead of like, just the little piece or whatever. Because I heard sticker set and I was like, oh, did you make like just like card boxes and then you can change different cards? Because that sounds like a fun concept. But it wasn't that so much as it was the whole card. Like, so they were sticker size cards, and it sounds like they were printed a little wider or a little larger than the card itself, so they had to be trimmed.
Yep.
And it was the first place that Ruck Egg and Wasp of the Hive tokens were printed.
Oh, okay.
Which I thought was really interesting.
That
because
is interesting.
It's like, how do Wizards... Like, how are you so late to the...
Yeah, there's a couple of tokens that they still haven't printed for certain cards, and I'm like, how do these not exist?
This was like... but this was like the first tokens, like the first actual tokens that were ever printed. And he did put casting costs on them, which I thought was kind of weird, but... No, it was really cool because he had a 5-color in there before we got anything. I think this was right after or around Legends. He had the most, maybe actually more overpowered than Tellurian Academy. And it was basically a legendary island that tapped for 2 blue, which is that is a counterspell at that point. That's so rude. What's
2 blue
wrong
is a
with
counterspell.
you?
Yeah.
And there were a bunch of different things. There was a really off color pie enchantment, something to do with blood. It was like an altar of blood or something like that. And essentially, whenever somebody would attack anything, you would gain 1 life. I think it was supposed to like reflect on, like damage being dealt in the field and like reaping the rewards from that.
Yep.
But it felt really a lot more white or black than it was red. But outside of that, it really was an interesting set. It was one that was caught by Wizards, and he definitely got a cease and desist.
Yeah, that sucks.
Which I don't understand that mindset when you have someone that's so passionate about the thing that you're making.
Yep.
And especially because this was one guy and his little production company that had put together this
things that Wizards weren't fucking doing.
Yeah. Like why is this not like a situation where
they just pay him and they say thank you for doing all of this legwork for us?
Right. Like, hey, can we, we will print your thing. We will be the middleman. We'll take this to print. We'll figure out what's going on.
Yep.
And maybe it's not even a set. Maybe it's not like a recognized, like this isn't part of standard or anything. None of these cards are even legal in tournament play, but we'll give you the quality and the treatment of printing these cards that it deserves for the work that you've put into it.
Yeah. Dragon Shield, hurry up and please sponsor us.
Yeah, Dragon Shield, where you at?
I would love to use
Respond to my email, Dragon Shield.
I would love to use your stuff instead.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't even like we really like want this because like money. No, this is I love your shit and I would love to display it.
Shawn would very much like to partner with you. Dragon Shield. All I need is an okay. Like, honestly, I was going to say, like, if we could get, like, a poster or maybe, like, a box of... No. We just need an okay. Like, I suppose we don't even need an okay since we're talking about it at this point.
We just need, like, a link so we can, like, save our viewers. Like people do, like, the 5% off Dragon Shield shit, like, all the time. Like,
what's wrong with that?
Just that. Give us that.
No, I'm happy. I'm probably going to go through and see if we could do up the retailer thing, but we're not technically retailers, but maybe we could put a button somewhere.
And
Facebook.
I know for a fact you guys send people, like, like card sleeves and shit to like show off before you start releasing them in like mats and stuff. I want to do that because I love your products.
Yeah.
Give us your shit.
Yeah, let's do it. And
I want your stuff.
It's Dragon Shield. I've seen who else you guys back. So
Yeah, the thing is, like, this isn't like a lot of people are like, I want sponsors because I want the money from the sponsors. No, I love your shit.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
literally, I don't buy sleeves that aren't Dragon Shield. I don't. I have no non-Dragon Shield sleeves.
I mean, I don't buy penny sleeves that aren't Dragon Shield.
You mean like top loaders?
I mean,
Oh, you mean like the
cheap little.
the
Yeah, they
thin-
don't sell penny sleeves.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, if you guys did,
Hey,
I'd buy them.
Dragon Shield penny sleeves.
Yeah, but yeah, that's
Prince and the Pauper.
that's my complaint for the day. Dragon
Yeah.
Shield.
Yeah, otherwise we're gonna have to start looking for other sleeve vendors.
They're so big that they'll be like, okay.
You'd think so. You'd think
don't
so.
know.
Maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe just dangle that coinage somewhere else.
Yeah, man. Hey, we could be the next big thing, and you could miss out on us.
We are the next big thing. This is the hard part.
This is the hard part. So for Reddit Roundup this week, we've got a couple of different things, actually.
Okay.
I have a story like normal. We won't like go too deep into the story because I think it's going to be a pretty cut and dry one for a story. But the other things on the Reddit Roundup that I found are just some crazy pull things.
Okay.
And a really bad combo.
Oh yes, the bad combo.
The bad combos.
Yep.
Yep.
You sold me on the bad combo
I
with the
love it.
title.
Yeah,
like
I
that's
love
amazing.
bad combos. So for the Reddit Roundup discussion, it is from r/MTG, posted by u/burnt end ribs. He says, I am playing a new deck. Oh, sorry. Title of it. Am I wrong for conceding?
Title.
Told you. It's already.
Am I right for conceding?
Am I wrong for conceding?
Well, yeah, that's the same
Yeah.
question.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm playing a new deck. Megatron, naturally full of artifact and artifact creatures. Game starts against a Planeswalker deck, Pirates, and Artifact Hate. We get going a couple turns, each deck doing their thing, having enough rocks and such to play Organic Extinction to clear the board for an extremely dominant position. Countered. Knew it would come from an obvious 2-island open from the Pirates player. Couple of turns after, no cards in hand and nothing good coming up. The Artifact Hate played and destroyed all artifacts you don't control. I knew my deck could never come back. Losing all rocks and only having 5 lands, this would also give him enough trample/unblockable commander damage to his ape securing the game for him. So I decided before it would resolve, I concede, still putting him in a good position, but not a game winner. He got incredibly upset because I conceded before he got his crazy benefits. Am I wrong for doing this? I'm not good with card names, so please excuse me. I can't fucking talk. Me if I don't remember the specific cards. So, the rule is he wrong for conceding? Because the guy didn't get his triggers.
No. No, you can concede at any point in Magic. That's one of the rules.
Mm-hmm. I am on the flip side of, I think conceding should be at sorcery speed. I think you should concede on your turn.
What?
Yeah, because if you're playing in a pod, right?
No.
You conceding before somebody can get stuff off.
Uh-uh.
No, I think I do.
I think
it's
that
just...
you're forgetting something.
What am I forgetting?
So basically, the ability to not be able to just like quit whenever you want to at instant speed, or rather, it's even faster than instant speed because you can do it at like mana ability speed.
Mhm.
Okay. If it were only sorcery speed, you could essentially be locked into sitting there for an extra 5 or 10 minutes while somebody's over there doing their wonky combo.
But you're gonna have to wait till their game ends anyway.
Well,
So what's the difference?
We're talking about a very niche situation because at this point, he's asking if he's an asshole because he basically denied somebody an ability trigger, which is not his problem.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I feel like that is, especially if you're going to lose, if you could just lose in a way that it gives the next guy a little bit of a leg up on trying to beat the person that's making you quit right now, that is definitely not a dick move.
Okay.
Like if you can like like concede right now, and that makes the next player like it makes it a better situation for them to kill off the guy who's been gunning at you the whole time, or the guy who like just countered your thing. It's Commander, so like you attack me first. I don't care if we're in the final 4 and I've got a good shot to take the other 2 down as long as I pair with you. You attacked me in the round 1, okay? So we're done now. We are no longer that is part of the beauty of CEDH and why the pods of 4 are so fun. Because it is a political thing. And
and it starts even before you play.
Quitting when you want to is one of those political moves that most people don't realize that they have. Now, I think that there should definitely be stuff in place to like stop people from like using that as a then I'm gonna quit. But at the same time, but at the same time, I also feel like that's few and far between. Whereas I've definitely known people that will like, oh, you can only quit at sorcery speed, so you have to leave your cards there and you have to sit until I'm done comboing off, and wait a second, it's going to take me 5 minutes before you get priority again, and you can sorcery speed quit.
So there's a comment back from somebody asking, what are the crazy benefits that guy lost, right?
Right.
So the OP says it's the Groll Ape getting counters and enchantment from getting draw from artifacts to graveyard. And the guy responded, in that case, you can't really blame him for getting upset. He did something that would normally put him in a very advantaged position, and you proceeded to effectively counterspell those effects for free by conceding.
Yeah. Again, welcome to Commander. You start screwing people over on stupid little stuff like countering their stuff, not letting them play their cards, then if they can concede, it's not like again, it's a situation, it's in CDH. So like if you counter the thing that is not optimally something to counter because you should hold that for the next guy's board wipe, but just so you can counter that guy's like, precious artifact or something like that, you do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he does say at the end of the day you're allowed to concede whenever you want, but also you can't be surprised when conceding to stop someone from getting an effect makes them upset. So I think he's not an asshole for conceding. I do think, for me personally, I would let it happen because you're still playing with a pod, right? And everybody needs to play their best. And if you quit before letting somebody like do something that could win them against the pod, I don't think you should. I think you should at least, because if you're going to lose anyway, let him do his thing.
See, and that's where I think that politics, like that conversation could have been had beforehand. Like, hey, I'm gonna play dirty, okay, but a big part of my thing is I need you to stay in the game until after your turn goes through so I can get this extra thing. And if you just leave, then it's going to make me sad. And at that point, if that conversation was had, I don't think that he'd be having the conversation on Reddit of like, was I a dick? Because he knows. Like, oh, yeah, that was a dick move. We talked about that beforehand, and then I screwed him over. And if dude can't politic beforehand, don't play Gruul, okay? If you don't want to play politics in Magic the Gathering, you play black, you play white, you play blue, or you play Esper. And then you don't have to ask anybody's permission for anything.
Yeah, the verdict is that he is the asshole. Everybody on this post is saying he is wrong for conceding early.
Well, they're wrong, and I can tell them all that.
Yeah,
you're all wrong, Reddit people.
Yeah, scooping in the middle of a spell is kind of cringe, is what a lot of people talk about it. However, but it is Reddit, and everybody's gonna have their opinions and everything. But out of the 69 nice comments, literally every single person on this post said that he was wrong for doing it.
That's hilarious.
Every single person was like, you're an a-hole for doing that. So,
well, all 69 of you are wrong, except for the guy who asked a clarifying question, and you're just wrong later.
Yeah. So they are releasing a couple of secret layers as well.
Okay.
It was posted to Reddit today. Mm-hmm. One of them is, the secret layer is Everything is on Fire, and they are doing a raised foil variant. So,
first off, if Worldfire wasn't in this little printing, I can't even say that they missed an opportunity. They just fucked up.
So they fucked up.
So what is it called?
It is Everything is on Fire.
Everything is on Fire. And so Worldfire was not printed in this.
But Chain Lightning was. So basically all the cards here, right, I'm gonna post the link so everybody can see it. But like the artwork are beautiful. It's all fire stuff, right? They basically made all the things fire. And then look at these.
Yeah, like
this is gonna
chain
be
lightning.
this is gonna be the raised foil ones, like this gold border. So the cards they are releasing in it are chain lightning,
Chain lightning.
Dragon's Rage Channeler. I almost said chandelier.
Okay.
Rift Bolt, Skewer the Critics, and Lava Spike.
Okay, so Skewer the Critics is a good card. I like that card.
Yeah.
Very flavorful.
Yep.
However, not fire.
Lava Spike's the only thing close to fire, and lava
Yeah.
isn't even fire, it's a plasma.
Yeah. No, lava's not a plasma. It's a solid.
No, lava is a plasma.
What?
Yeah, lava's plasma.
Okay, well, I'm not going to get onto a scientific
Nah,
debate
I'm
with
gonna look
you
it
on
up right the
magic.
fuck. No, this is an important thing. This is the only child of me coming out, and I have to prove you right now. Is lava a plasma? Fuck off.
What is it? Is it a solid?
It's a liquid state of matter, specifically molten rock, while plasma is a state of matter where electrons
Okay,
and protons are separated.
I've
So
heard some arguments that it is solid, but yeah, liquid
It's
makes sense
liquid.
as well. It takes the shape of its container.
so
it's not a plasma.
lightning is a plasma.
Yeah, lightning is a plasma. Flame is
Mhm.
a chemical reaction where there's a field of plasma. But
So they're doing 3 types for this release
okay,
instead of just the 2 because they're doing raised foil. So this is 5 cards you're getting. It is $29.99 non-foil. The rainbow foil is $39.99. The raised foil is $100. A huge fucking jump. Yep, $100 for cards that are worth a little more than $1 combined.
which is
This is the
so
this is
funny.
legit the biggest grift lair of all time.
Which is so funny because there's another one that I thought of that they totally should have put in here. Braid of Fire. And tell
Yep.
me that couldn't use a secret layer
Yep. See, this is where
chain lightning.
yeah, this is where like I personally would pay for it because it's a better variant and it looks pretty and stuff. But even I think $100 for cards that are literally worth less than $1 is ridiculous.
Also, why not just do a lightning thing? Like, why are we getting all flamey with it here?
I bet you they're gonna do one for everything. Like if they're gonna do this one and it does well, they're doing one for every other one.
What?
Yeah, because they're doing a fire, right?
Yeah.
But what if they're gonna do everything is underwater? Everything is green.
Oh, so the next time they'll do the underwater one and shoot
You
people
think-
with rocks instead?
yeah, exactly.
All metal stuff.
All metal, no fire.
All metal set, and then they do Avatar of Air.
Yeah.
You know, because lightning is fire.
I bet you Lightning Bolt is 100% going to be reprinted in the Avatar one, though, because of lightning bending. Guaranteed, 100%. And it's going to be Princess Zulia casting it.
Like, if they're going to print garbage, they could have just put it on a fucking lava axe.
The final post is the r/bad Magic the Gathering combos. So this combo is called He Can't See Without His Glasses, and it costs 11 red and green to do the whole combo.
Okay. So
All right.
this is some fancy footwork here.
So I'm going to name the cards, and then I'm going to say how they do it.
Yeah.
You play Hornet's Nest, which is 2 and 1 green.
Okay.
Hornet's Nest is a 0/2 insect. It's an that's defender, and when it is dealt damage, create that many 1/1 green insect creature tokens with flying and death touch.
Which is actually, oh, look at these fun little carryovers. That was the token.
The insect
The
token,
wasp of the hive. Yeah.
Yep. Dark Steel Plate, which is indestructible. Equipped creature has indestructible, which I need. I need that for my samurai deck because it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Pandemonium, which is 3 and 1 red, which is an enchantment. Whenever a creature comes into play, that creature's controller may choose to have it deal damage equal to its power to target creature or player.
Yep.
And then the final piece of the combo is Glasses of Urza, which is pay 1, tap it, you make a look at opponent's hand. So the combo is have Hornet's Nest equipped with Dark Steel Plate and Pandemonium on the field. Step 2, play a creature with at least 1 power targeting Hornet Nest, creating an insect targeting Hornet Nest. Step 3, kill an opponent with glasses. Step 4, play Glasses of Urza. Because it is from the movie. It's the movie reference, My Girl.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
That is what it is. So what you do, yeah. So and then somebody says, so you create 20,000 insects, but what do the glasses do? And the comment is, completes the movie reference. That's the combo. The combo is just for the movie reference.
That's hilarious.
That is it. It doesn't actually win you the game.
Man,
it's just for the movie reference.
So I thought when you said that, and I'm not disappointed, okay, because there's so much flavor here. But aside from that, you said that, and I was thinking about like a complex way. You know how there's some weird ways where you can like give like there's like player flying, which I think was an unset mechanic or a playtest card where you could give a player flying for until the end of turn. And then Form of the Dragon, which basically you can't be attacked by creatures with flying, and you can attack, as though you had flying or whatnot. But anyhow, if there was some way to give a player a quality where you could equip something and then turn the glasses into an equipment and then equip the glasses to them, but basically have it so that like if a creature is equipped, then it can't do something that like made the opponent not be able to look at their hand.
Next episode, I think I'll bring that up a little bit. I think I'll bring a list. We'll talk about the stack. We'll talk about because we say the stack a lot. We will explain what that actually means, why it's important in Magic.
And damage doesn't use the stack.
Exactly. Things that are really weird. Like, there are ways you can kill somebody with land.
Can
and
we
never
talk
hits the
about
stack.
Mog Fanatic next turn?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Woo! Love Mog Fanatic.
Yeah, so we'll talk about Mog Fanatic. We'll talk about how you can kill somebody with land so it never hits the stack so you can't respond to it, because there is a way.
I mean, I think what he means is how to kill someone in a game of Magic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not in
Probably
real
not
life.
kill people
Not
with
in real
Magic
life. We're not
cards.
going to bury you in the back. And we'll also talk about what the stack is. So, Shawn and Tom from the Hard Part Podcast, thank you guys for joining us again this week, and we will see you next week for the drawing of the SpongeBob Secret Lair.
Secret Lair draw.
Secret Lair draw.
Woo!
Are you guys talking about that magic shit?